Anybody else feel like these quote-unquote Black Ops 6 leaks were, kind of planned on purpose? I don't know, but the timing to me just seems a little bit too good. I mean, first we have a banwave, 65K accounts pop, then literally within 24 hours, we have every single little thing about Black Ops 6 in great detail leaked to the public. And no, I'm not talking about just a cinematic trailer. We're literally talking about everything. I mean, it looks like they're bringing back a vertical UI, pick 10 system. I mean, granted, the weapons still look like they have a billion attachments, so that'll definitely be fun. I'm sure that's not for engagement purposes or anything. And we got to see our first look at the Omni movement, which I'm gonna keep it real with you guys, actually looks kind of cool. And I'm not gonna lie, it looks like it introduces a whole new skill gap. But we also all know that things like skill gaps generally are used by Activision and the studios to lure in talented and higher skilled competitive gamers. And then shortly after we take the bait, hook, line, and sinker, well, they nerfed the skill gap in question. Look, we saw it with the MW3 movement. We saw it with the Car 98. I mean, hell, every AR and SMG that becomes meta we see it with. Or in the case of this version's ARs, they're not even useful. We literally in the midst of the worst AR meta in the history of COD. None of them can compete at range, while they still remain not even viable at medium to short range due to mainly the movement constrictions. But I mean, let's face facts and circle back to the skill gap thing, because if they were viable, talented people like myself would use them in combination with movement to create a much wider skill gap. See where I'm going with this? So nah, I don't have high hopes for Black Ops 6, but yes, I will admit that there are some cool things that I saw in these leaks. And I say leaks lightly, which we'll get to that shortly, but some things perked my interest, like the RCXD coming back. The potential for content just with the RCXD alone is vast, as well as one of my favorite perks returning in Gung Ho. But I just can't stop thinking about how well timed these leaks were. Right after a ban wave. It's almost like they were like, hey, yo, y'all hear we banned all the cheaters, right? And oh no, somebody's leaking all the new cool shit from the shit we're gonna sell you in October. Honestly, it's a classic sales technique. As soon as you, the seller, overcome the objection, i.e. the buyer having an issue preventing them from purchasing, in this case, the sheer amount of kids playing this game that are yacked up, well, as soon as you overcome that objection, you go to a close. Immediately overcome objection, close the deal. For instance, yeah, just can't afford it. Bob? Listen, we all know that cheap things aren't good and good things aren't cheap. And you're a man of quality, but that Mercedes sitting in the driveway, this 3,800 square foot house, all them plaques from your career awards on the wall, pretty sure you can afford it. Yeah, I could afford it. Close it. Close it now before he thinks of some other reason not to buy the product. Literally sales 101. Because the longer you wait, the more time he has to think. And they're not trying to convince themselves why they should buy this game. Most of them, and rightfully so after the last few years of dog shit we've been put through, they're thinking of why they shouldn't buy this game. Well, most of us are. Those of us with jobs, money, steady income, etc. I say that because, there's always going to be the ones that buy it regardless. Poor people. They buy everything. Hell, when I was in sales, if I had a customer all excited to buy and never asking for any discounts, or ones that didn't haggle on the price and try to throw out objection at every turn, most likely, to get a better deal out of me, those were the scary customers, because after spending hours with them, all excited to buy and pay full price, always, and I don't mean like 99% of the time, I literally mean 110% of the time, they had bad, sometimes extremely piss poor credit. And nowhere near the amount of money I was asking in their bank account. Like I said, poor people, they buy everything. But one of the reasons they're poor. But enough about low battery smoke detector gangs, and more about why this company still thinks these cheeky little adverts veiled as leaks can be used in some sort of positive light to convince us to buy the game. Like, I get the timing, and if you don't think these were planned purpose leaks, then you'll have to explain to me why the leaker was not only able to have each post left up for several hours, but wasn't taken down or prevented from uploading anymore after the first handful of videos were dropped, because they simply didn't want to. That's why. Like I said, back to planned purpose. But back to customers having time to think. They definitely don't want you to time to observe that ban wave and then the next day hop on Call of Duty and run into a cheater your first game on. That's going, fuck, they lied to us again. What'd you expect? Hell, with them banning so many players at once, all they really did was cause those that were soft cheating, trying to convince their friends and everybody else that they were just next up. Well, all it did was cause those kids to say, fuck it, I ain't going back to playing legit. Then they end up turning their cheats up to the max and becoming what we know as a rage hacker. You know the type. The ones that do the complete opposite of trying to hide it. The ones that want you to watch your kill cam and go, wow, that guy's 1000% hacking. The headshot only snapping from head to head in a single frame type of people. To be honest with you guys, I'd rather get my game ruined by a cheater playing like that than I would some soft cheating pussy that thinks that if he can convince Team Proficient, Dare, Astra, Omit, or one of those other notorious cheating orgs to pick them up, that their dad who left 15 years ago for Siggy's and milk will magically return. And FYI, these artistic types that join these lurgs, For free, mind you. These orgs don't pay them, nor do they help them with anything related to brand or content. But hey, finally you're a part of something. Congratulations, little buddy. And oh, by the way, nice anime picture. If you ever want to lose your virginity, let me know. I'm sure I can get Cletus to help with that. But at a certain point, you gotta ask yourself, like at what point do we actually take the things we say seriously? Like, when do we get our heads out of our asses and stop pre-ordering this game? Show a bit of willpower and wait for folks like me and other content creators that are required as per our job titles to buy the game, experience it, and then you can make a better educated decision of whether or not you want to buy this version of Call of Duty. Or should we just allow them to continue to pressure us with their high pressure sales tactics? You know, like the, if you don't order the game right fucking now, you're never going to get access to the Woods operator skin. Or you're never going to be able to participate in the early pre-alpha, barely functioning beta build that we may or may not allow the stats and progress to roll over to the full version of the game. Your choice, but just don't be left behind the progression curve and let all your friends who are absolutely guaranteed, we promise, already have bought the game, go get so far ahead of you that they refuse to play with you, and you're left playing campaign because all your friends were good little shills and you were stubborn as a mule and didn't buy the game at first opportunity. Maybe if those pre-order numbers can be a little light next time, they might stop doing the shit like intentionally leaking things about the next game, or maybe, just maybe, they'd not abandon MW3. Oops, too late. But seriously guys, you want things to change in this franchise? You need to start taking the show me approach. Show some fucking willpower and make them provide before you give them what they truly desire. You know, unfettered access to your wallet and the hard-earned money that we all have. Well, you know, some of us have. I know some of y'all been doing 2-for-1s on EBT cards to get the game every year. Might want to do 2-for-1 on some 9-volt batteries while you're at it. But swear to God, if I was tasked with developing an AI matchmaking system, I'd 100% auto-assign the ones that you hear the beep, smoke detector chirping, low battery in the background. Instantly throw them guys in bot lobbies where they belong. Imagine the future of breaking SBMMs not by using a VPN, but rather by holding your low battery smoke detector into your microphone, waiting on it to beep. Nah, I'm just kidding. But I think it's illegal for a company to listen into you unwillingly, you know, like on your private conversation. My government left me. Anyways, it's definitely not how you break SBMM currently. No, that actually takes somewhat of a special tool, like the one used in helping make the gameplay that you're watching right now. Sweat VPN, the only fully functional VPN designed to alleviate the burdens of skill-based matchmaking, EOMM, whatever the fuck they're calling the matchmaking algorithm these days. And if you use code HOPPA at checkout or the links down in the description, you can save yourself 10% off any subscription plan and finally make Call of Duty great again. Like seriously, how many times have you landed on a box or two, popped it, and gotten a trophy system, sniper rifle, and some shotgun shells? With the amount of people VPNing right now, you're definitely gonna run into sweaty players even using a VPN. But what Sweat VPN offers is variety, so that you and all of your friends of all skill levels can play together and everybody can enjoy the game. Plus, in my experience, the loot is always better. One thing that two-boxing, which is the act of joining a bot account that hosts and joins a match, and then you back the bot account out, won't provide you, well, first off, it's not going to provide you with teammates because you got to turn squad fill off, and it's not going to provide you with good loot. With Sweat VPN properly configured, you're always going to get good loot. Here's why. When you hit a box, what comes out of it is dependent on what skill footprint that you have. So in layman's terms, when a 4KD player pops a box, what they'll get out of it will be of significantly less value than when a 0.5KD player pops the same exact box, which is one of the reasons that cheat developers will never be able to list the contents of a loot chest through loot ESP means prior to a player opening it, because it's all dynamic. With Sweat VPN, I can pop a chest and get to killing immediately. Whereas without it, my go-to is usually looting until I get enough loading money or the loadie drops. Definitely not as good as being able to grab a decent weapon and get to frying. And for people that just heard this advert and are beside themselves thinking using a VPN somehow cheating, well, I'm gonna be honest with you, I used to be in your boat too. That wasn't until I spent months on end beating my head up against a brick wall trying to play this game. And then somebody asked me, what do you consider cheating, Hoppa? And I told them, I think cheating is possessing or using an unfair advantage in the game. They said, oh, really? Okay. Let me ask you this. What's unfair about being in a lobby of lesser skill? When did talent and skill become an unfair advantage? They say you only want to dunk on bots and kids who can't shoot back as good. Well yeah, and so do you. That's why you have such an issue with me in your lobby, because I'm better and you can't dunk on me. In fact, the OG cause you would have demons like me or even better in your local area that because he played 24/7 was unavoidable. Well, you know, other than backing out, which used to be a thing because they give you plenty of info on what kind of lobby you were going into, what kind of players you were about to face off against. Not anymore, but promise you if you buy something, we'll throw you a bone. I mean, technically it's a smart business plan until it isn't. When everybody in this community finally wakes the hell up and realizes our wallets are the only thing that can cause change. But I honestly don't ever foresee that happening because let's face it, the Call of Duty community by far and large, well, we're all kind of dumb. I know I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but I am literally the first person that's put 2 and 2 together and realized that PR stunt followed PR stunt, meaning bandwave and then a leak. How do you guys not make that correlation? And then how do you not expound upon that correlation and realize is that they don't want you to think about the laggy ass servers. They don't want you to think about the pure manipulation of your gameplay, all in the name of fairness. They don't want you to think about the cheaters. They don't want you to think about the $35 bundles that give you 3 to 5 good games. They don't want you to think about all the bugs and all the bullshit, especially the woke BS. Because guess what? Here's the new cool shit. Everybody enjoy. And guess what we did? The vast majority of us made videos about all the cool new leaks. That's why I say this community's it's a very artistic community. Very artistic community painting a very blurry picture. That's all I got for you guys today. Just stop buying the BS. Start thinking for yourself. If you enjoyed, hit the like button for me. Learn something new. Just want to know when I upload new content just like this or go live. Make sure you subscribe to the channel with the notification bell enabled. And always remember the wise words from American author Taya Kyle, widow of American hero and Navy SEAL Chris Kyle, who said, "The only way to defeat evil is by taking advantage of our freedoms." Catch y'all on the next one. Mahalo.
We still on it. Build on it. We still on it.